Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Nayasim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. This video is a little bit, controversial, but in the midst of the chaos and all that, I am very sure that I will be able to come to a conclusion to the video in the comment section, and I will be very, very much open to read your comments and all with that. Now, I am going to say this. Indigenous people came to say that black people are erasing them, like erasure, trying to say that they are saying that they are the real indigenous people, and they are not happy. They are not okay that black people are claiming indigenous people when they are the real this is what they said, when they are the real indigenous people, right? And some people say that it's now also against the law to be a pretendian, that if you say that you are an indigenous person and you are not, that you will go to jail or something like that. Some people are like, why would black people say that they are indigenous to the land when they are African Americans? Mind you, you all know that also in the comment section, there are some videos that I will do, and some people will also tell me in the comment section that they are not African Americans, that they are FBAs, FBAs, and they are indigenous to the land, that they were there before every other person. I am a very curious cat. I have read so much about this FBA and all that, but I am going to let you people that own the history educate me in the comment section, because I absolutely want to learn. Let's get into this.
Some black people are subscribing to indigenous erasure, claiming that they are the true Native Americans or true indigenous people to Canada and the United States, and we are not. Now, I don't want to have a debate or even go into the details of that utterly ridiculous, stupid idea, but what I want to know is, when did you guys decide to turn against us? When did the crazies among you begin to present theories like this that took hold in your communities? Because as far as I've always known my whole life, we've been good. And I don't just have a few black friends. I was actually raised by a black man in a black American neighborhood, in a black family who still considers me family. So I just want to know, when did you guys start losing your damn minds, man? Because I have always known you to be good, compassionate, logical people. And now every other day, I see tons of black people on this app trying to cancel us, man. And to be honest, that shit breaks my heart. I mean, you of all people, having also gone through a genocide, why would you then turn around and act like a colonizer to another group of people that have also been through a genocide? I just don't understand, man. I mean, so much of my own thought is rooted in black thought. I got so many of my concepts around resistance and survival and resiliency from your guys' communities. Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Loon Organization, Kwame Nkrumah. I mean, I could go on and on and on, man. My grandma Helen from the Central District in Seattle, Washington. Intelligent, articulate, passionate people. And now you guys are on this shit? I just don't get it, man.
My parents tell y'all that y'all were African or Indian? You are Indian descent? Okay.
Why do you look African, motherfucker?
You Indian descent?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
You can't be Indian without a tribe. Your grandma lied to you, motherfuckers.
How do you feel about people that look like me saying that we are the real American Indians?
Take a DNA test and find a school, you pretendians. Heal your fucking identity crisis.
And the question for today is, are black people indigenous to America?
No.
No.
Never.
Never? Has anybody in your family ever said they was Indian?
Damn. Technically, no, but in my mind, yes, they were. I made that connection.
No, you did? Okay, so you made it yourself.
Yes.
No. And the question for today is, are black people indigenous to America?
Uh,
Indigenous to America.
definition?
Like
You were here first.
Originally here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You say
Native
yeah.
Americans.
Wait, no.
Yes,
I would say yes and no because we was born here, unless you mix with native.
Okay.
Right. I say no. I still consider Native American. Oh, you still like was we brought to America?
No, like we're originally from here.
No.
No, we're from Africa.
I'm off the fucking boat.
Okay.
Nothing tickles my bell more than to be tagged in an early morning video. It is now a federal crime to get on this app or any place in life and lie and say that you're Native American and you're not. You should have just took my damn advice. It was a kind gesture. Now your ass gonna go to jail. Pretendians. And pretendian is a term for anyone contributing to erasure. What is erasure? Pretending to be Native American to collect the benefits and all the accolades from it, and you know damn well you are not. Your ass is black, just like me and everybody else in the community that you come from. We have such a rich, beautiful culture. Whether you black Caribbean, black Asian, black Latino, black whatever, there's so many extents of black. Now we know there's blacks in the Native community, we know that, but they're not appropriating. You are. As I said on my other page, your ass is black, just like me. It's a damn shame the government got to get involved to make your ass accept that. Take that and do what you will. And say that you're Native American and you're not. You should have just took my damn advice.
I have learned that there is a surprising and alarming number of individuals on TikTok claiming to be the true Indigenous Americans and contributing to the erasure of Native Americans. Like, these pretendians are as intense as you can possibly get, and I love this creator because she consistently calls out these people for lying and being delusional. And through my Melangen video that I made, I realized there were a lot of comments on that video saying that I'm a white supremacist and that I'm contributing towards Indigenous erasure. And I was trying to figure out what they were talking about because I am Indigenous on the other side of my family, and I have not encountered this narrative and this conspiracy theory before. It is actually really concerning and scary, and you should see the way they're starting to scramble now that there has been laws passed that make it illegal to be a pretendian, and you can actually face serious consequences for it. And I'm with this creator. It makes me extremely happy to see that there's actually going to be consequences for pretendians, because you have a whole bunch of people. First, it was a bunch of white Karens claiming that they have a grandma that was a Cherokee princess, and now you have a lot of Black Americans and African Americans claiming that they are the real Indigenous people of this land. Black people are. And I'm sorry, I have 10% African DNA, and I'm so proud of that. And I am trying to learn more about the tribes in Africa that I'm able to trace it back to. And it's crazy to me that there are so many people in denial and so much self-hate around African DNA that people are claiming that they're Indigenous. I'm actually just in awe. I can't even believe it. It's bizarre, and it's really popular. This conspiracy theory is really popular, and there's no evidence to support it. Seek help.
Let's talk about so-called pretendians and wabos and black people and why we so often claim to be native or have native. It could be because Native Americans participated in the enslavement and capture of African people. They were psychologically and physically abused. They were dehumanized, stripped of their names and everything, human rights. And after the Civil War, which some of them participated in to keep black people enslaved, those black people, known as the freedmen, were either by the court system, had to go to court, granted full citizenship to the tribe, or kicked out. And a lot of them refused to honor the contract or treaty that allowed the freedmen to stay in the tribe. meaning that black people were enslaved in those tribes. And that is why we so commonly claim tribes like Cherokee, Chickasaw, all those indigenous tribes that enslaved black people. So while we may not carry indigenous blood because y'all had us enslaved, and after the Civil War, when black people became freedmen, because those tribes participated in chattel slavery, it seems plausible that that is the reason that so many black people claim to be Native Americans, because y'all forced us into your tribes and then kicked us out when you couldn't keep us enslaved and when federal money was involved. And when you look it up, it'll say things like the Europeans convinced them, or the poor Native Americans were scared and thought that if they participated in the evil and savage practice of slavery, that the Europeans would honor their contract or their treaties. And how did that work out? The Europeans didn't. And y'all took us on the trail of tears in chains with you. Looks like it's not just Europeans on this land that owe black people reparations. Y'all are not the victims when it comes to your wobbles and your erasure. The tribes that black people claim, Seminole, Choctaw, Cherokee, and more, are the main tribes that captured, sold, and enslaved black people. So yeah, some of us are descendants of slaves that were owned by Native people, and they deserve to be recognized because they helped build your tribe, helped with your agriculture as you beat them, dehumanized them, and fucked them up psychologically, stripped them of their identities. So you took away their identities twice and continue to do so? But it's BIPOC unity? Yeah, tell the full story. 10 out of fucking 10.
If you are somebody who is wondering why ICE is only picking up them Hispanics and Latinos, but all those years we were told to go back to where we come from, go back to Africa, then why you not snooping us up? Let me tell you, let me hold your hand while I say this, okay? Hear ye, because your family was from here. See? I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it's because your ancestors were from right here on American soil. Yes, okay? And how you find this out is by not your DNA, by tracing your genealogy, tracing your ancestors and where they were born, your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. Trace that lineage, and you want to also be able to trace census reports back to before 1865, okay? You can also check the Dow's rolls. You can do family oral history, but you want to be able to look at census reports before 1865, and some key indicators on those census reports are Indian, mulatto, Negro. These were the terms that they reclassified them as, okay? So now we have a little bit of digging to do, and then I'll let you know what you're going to need. When you find that information and you get those pieces of information, you'll know where to go from there. But you need to find those census reports before 1865.
You know what? I find it very, very interesting how so many black people in this day and age are saying that, hey, we're not black people. We're not African. We are indigenous to this land. I find that very, very odd because I'm trying to understand this whole movement as far as, hey, I don't want to be looked at as African. I'm not from there. I was born here in America. We were always here, and I never understood that. I've had people told me that I'm delusional and that, I'm not from Africa. My family's not from Africa. We've always been here, so and so, blah, blah, blah. I even saw a comment where someone said that 85% of the black people in America are indigenous to this land. Huh. Very interesting, right? Well, I did my family history, and I've been doing it since 2013. And so it's been, what, 12 years that I've been doing my family history. And I've never run across anything that suggests that my family were always here. Everything that I've ran across always suggested my family came from Africa. I even have cousins within my DNA match list who are in Africa, who live in Africa. You know, that means that we are closely related, basically. If they're in your DNA match list, that means that you're either related a little, further down the line, or, they're close, you're closely related to that person. But either way, if you have African ancestry within your DNA match list, all of your cousins and stuff like that, that means that you guys share a common ancestor within the last maybe 300 years, depending on how far back they are, within the last 300 years. So that means that you're African. You have family that have come from Africa, and I have those all over my DNA match list. A lot of people from Africa who I've actually got in contact with, and their family, basically, they're saying that, well, they don't have any family that's in America, So that's a telltale, basically saying that, hey, you actually do have some African ancestry within you. And I've spoke to plenty of people. I've done my grandmother's research. I've done my mom's research, my father's research. All of them lead back to Africa. Me, myself, I might look like, that I'm kind of mixed with, some stuff, which I think, mostly, most Black Americans are mixed, mixed around and stuff like that. But some of us have a higher African DNA percentage than others. Mine, I've took my DNA test on numerous sites. All of my DNA tests come back that I'm 90% African, which is way higher than average, because the average in America for the Black American, the average percentage that a Black American has of African DNA is 72.3%. Me, I'm at 90. My mom, she's just as light as I am. She's at 95. My grandmother, she's just as light as I am. She's at 97% African, So our percentage of African is like way higher than normal, and a lot of people who think that they have Native American within their DNA, and their families told them, hey, yeah, we're Cherokee, we're Blackfoot, we are, Seminole or whatever. A lot of people who actually say that, well, my grandparents told me this, my great grandmother told me that, blah, blah. Everyone has that in their family, because it was the same thing in my family, that they told us, like, yeah, we have Native American in our family. Why? I'm thinking it's because, some people might have had the long, wavy hair. Well, Africans can have that too, stories passed down or whatever. But also what people don't understand is that when you have these records, okay, you have these records, you even have the Dawes rolls and everything. You have a lot of people out there who actually put their name on those records so they can receive free benefits. The Dawes rolls are basically the list back, way back when, saying that, hey, I'm Native American, and, they put their information. It was a lot of white people that put themselves up there. It was some Black people that put themselves up there and everything. There were also people back in those days who, all the, the slaves who actually ran away, and they found settlement within the Native American population, and they eventually became the citizens of that, that nation, and some people will use that as saying that, well, I have pictures of, my grandparents or my great-great-grandparents in Native American garbs. That's proof that we're Native American. No, just like I said before, a lot of them either married into that population or they ran away and they sought refuge in those populations, and they, and that's just how it was. And eventually they said that they were Native American. A lot of people claimed to be Native American. Why? They didn't want to be identified with the Black population, because to be identified with the Black population was not a good thing back in those days. So a lot of people got their stories from that, and it's been handed down that, hey, yeah, we're Native American, blah, blah, blah. When the actual truth is that you're not Native American, but you just have those stories that's saying that, hey, we are, although it's just that, some of that stuff just, happened back then or whatever. But yeah, a lot of people, Black people, we are not, mostly all of us, most of us have not been here before the transatlantic slave trade. Some people have, and even with those people, they're also African as well because they sailed over here before that. So we got to stop this we are indigenous people and we've always been here type of stuff. And if people want to bring up some past history on that, I know there was an explorer back in the 1500s and he came here and he wrote down what he saw. And some people misinterpret what he says because he says that he's seen some people with dark skin. But the thing is that he said, I see the people with dark skin not like the Ethiopians, which were the Africans. He was like, they're not like the Ethiopians, but they just have dark skin. People will interpret that as saying, hey, see, he's saying that there's already black people here. No, he just said that they had dark skin, but they were unlike the Ethiopians. Okay? So, or the Africans. But yeah, we really gotta wake up and actually do our research and study this stuff and not think that every single name that we might see on the Indian list, oh, that's my family member, because it's not. A lot of people had a lot of common names back then. Okay, a lot of common names. So I continue to do my research. When I find something, I research it and research it and I dig and dig and dig and dig to make sure that I know that this is the correct person that's within my family. This is the correct documentation that has to do with my family. I've seen so many times on other people's DNA lists, and sometimes I've messaged them about it and told them like, hey, that's not correct. This is actually what it is. And a lot of times they'll change it, and sometimes they just ignored it. But I was like, yeah, that's not the this is the correct person, and I say that because they're a part of my family for one, my distant cousin, and I knew that line that they have on their tree. They just came to an incorrect conclusion of it. So it does happen a lot, quite often. People find the wrong information for their family, and it's attached to the wrong thing. But yeah, we gotta wake up, y'all. Seriously. And I know this video is long as hell, but seriously, black people, come on now. We African.
Black people, black American people, listen. We gotta stop this Indian crap. We have to stop this Indian crap, okay? We have people from the Native or Indigenous American community. They on this app, they calling you guys out. I'm calling you guys out, okay? I understand that we have a long, twisted history, but I'm here to tell you that we are not them, okay? Now, if we want to get technical on the verbiage, okay? Let's get technical on the verbiage. Are FBA, Black Americans, native to the land of America? Yes. Are we native to the concept of what America is? Yes. But that's it. We're not Indians. We weren't running around here with feathers. We're not, those are not our people, okay? This is two different races. Did some runaway slaves and some freedmen intermingle and intertwine with them? Yes, some. So that means there's a couple of them running around. But for the most part, can we please stop trying to claim that we are indigenous Indians? Let them people have their own culture. What you're doing is this. The actual black Indians, like the Yamasee tribe, you take away the validity from their argument because your black ass is claiming to be Indian, and we can clearly see that you're not, okay? You can click. Imagine if I was claiming to be Indian. I'm a black American, okay? We mixed with a bunch of different stuff, all right? But how crazy would it look if I'm claiming to be an indigenous Indian? It's ridiculous. They know it's ridiculous, and other blacks know it's ridiculous. So let them people have their own culture, right? We don't need to be fighting them for their culture, for their history. We have our own history. We have our own culture. We've done great things. Let's be proud of who we are, black Americans.
Because you asked nice and you didn't come off as being condescending or disrespectful, I'm going to give you a couple of sources. And I'm only going to give you this stating facts. There are a couple of people that are responsible for the confusion that is currently going on between black and Native Americans. One is named Melvin Herskovitz, Franz Yuri Boas, Walter Plecker, and Jesse Jackson. Those three that I named at the beginning, they were the ones that started it, especially Walter Plecker, because he's the one that created the Racial Integrity Act. The one drop rule pretty much is the reason why we call each other black
white, so forth and so on. Now, not sure if you're aware, Black Americans, they got their citizenship from slavery in 1868, which is 3 years after slavery was abolished. Native Americans did not get their citizenship until the same exact year that the Racial Integrity Act was created, which was 1924. So if they were the first, why did they come so many years later to get their citizenship? Now, we could say it's possibly because at one point there was no white, Black, or Native American. Races were usually separated according to tribe, tradition, free, or slave. Then it ended up becoming, when it comes to Black American, freedman, slave, colored, Negro, mulatto, octoroon. Am I saying that every Black person is Native American? I'm not saying that. A majority of us can trace our history, and we will not find a single ancestor that came over here on a boat from Africa. These are also some places you could go and look. You might need to use DuckDuckGo because it allows you to go to specific dates. Because for some reason, after 2016, a lot of the information online kind of changed up. You could thank Obama for that. So I found this information when I was looking up one of the oldest fossils from America. She went by the name of Luzia. Something strange about the findings of Luzia is that when I first looked her up, she had totally different features. This is what she looks like right here. And then when I looked her up within like the last, I want to say maybe like the last 12 years, they changed the information on Luzia. Same year that they changed the information on Luzia to take her from being someone who had Negroid features, remains burned down in a museum in Brazil, which we all find quite ironic. So here's one website you could go and check out. I think this article is from 2012. And it said that the findings that they had, that these archaeologists found, they were some foreign archaeologists, had a chart that said that there was 2 waves that came to America. They suggested that there were 2 original migratory waves of Americas, the first composed of hunters and gatherers bearing Negroid features, immigrated approximately 14,000 years ago. And then it says it's no longer represented in any current population group. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people who look like this feature right here. But anyway, they said the second migration, made up of individuals whose appearance was closer to that of Asians, made its way to New World approximately 12,000 years ago. And these are the present-day Amerindian tribes. They were second. They were not first. Okay? Back then and for a long time, they've been doing a lot of research on skulls. Not sure if you know this, but they just returned a bunch of skulls, a bunch of heads that they took from New Orleans back to Germany. They were always doing this. They said in this article right here, it says that studies of the earliest human skeletons of the New World have shown that whereas late prehistoric, recent, and present Native Americans tend to exhibit a cranial morphology, I hope I'm saying this right, similar to late and modern Northern Asians, which is a short and wide neurocrania, high and broad faces, and relatively high and narrow orbits and noses. The earliest Americans tend to be more similar to present Australians, Melanesians, and sub-Saharan Africans. This is what I'm saying. We've all been fucking lied to. We all have been lied to. It's not a matter of us fighting and going back and forth about who was first and this, that, and the other. It's the fact of just tell the fucking truth. Our government has been lying about who is who. And I wish that Native Americans will stop taking offense when people are discovering who they are. It has nothing to do with you guys. I really need you to know this. It ain't got nothing to do with y'all. It's the fact that we've been lied to. All our lives we've been told that we are foreigners to this land, that we are from fucking Africa. We need to find out that a lot of our ancestors have been here. The point where foreign people, foreign archaeologists have told them their findings, and the American archaeologists go against them. They say, no, that's no way. There's no way. So they have done everything that they can with paper genocides to pretty much discredit any finding that the Native Americans of today are not the original Native Americans from back in the day. They're not the originals from 14,000 years ago, or so forth and so on. It ain't got nothing to do with trying to erase nobody's culture. It's all about truth. I just gave you plenty of findings for you to look up. Same way that many of us are doing, they could do the same thing. There's several Black Americans on this app right now who literally be in lives teaching with documents, receipts, maps, dates, everything. They don't get on here just to try to tear Native Americans down, which is what Native Americans do in their lives. If you're gonna talk about us, at least drop some receipts, not some shit that Pearson's Education wrote or that. So hopefully you go look these up. But DuckDuckGo is the way to go, because Google be on some bullshit. Good night.
Black people, I hope we done with all this foolishness. I'm hoping and praying that we understand that we are not Indians, okay? And this is what you can look up. Indians and blacks. I need my blacks to listen up. Look up the 1705 Virginia slave codes. Look that up. It's gonna explain how slavery started and how they said Indians and Africans, unless Christian, are now chattel property and can be enslaved. But that does not mean that black people are Indians, okay? Were there mixed people back then? Yes. They were slaves too. So like I said from the jump, there are a couple of these black Indians running around. But if you guys are trying to claim us black people, black Americans, are the same as the Mongoloid race, you guys are out of your minds. That's the whole point.
So this is all I got from this video. And, this is, I don't know if I should say a very delicate video, but I will be leaving a whole lot for you people to say in the comment section, because this has really been, I don't know if I should say it's more like there is a divide. Most times when I see FBA and African Americans, some will say they are indigenous to the land, some will say I am African American, some will say they are Americans, right? But what I am going to say is that you all will absolutely educate me on this, because I have also seen videos of people saying some people are pretendians, all right? And no matter how much I know about history, there are also some that I will sit back and let the people that own the history educate me. And this is absolutely what I am going to do at this point in time. I am going to sit back and watch you people and see you people educate me in the comment section. Because I learned that there is a law already. It's not a federal crime to be a pretendian, right? So if you violate this law, that you will, I don't know where they will put you. But so while I was going through the comment, because the comment is also a great place to also educate yourself, I decided to go there because I saw some people saying they are not African Americans, that they are FBA or they are indigenous to the land. And I am going to read this comment for you. Black people are the real indigenous people of America. That's why they are trying to outlaw it, because too many of us finding out the truth, and they know we are going to start demanding our land back. Yeah, so this is somebody's comment. And I saw, somebody responded to the same comment saying, nobody from your communities were speaking on tribal relations before this intense internet stuff started getting traction. You people were talking backdoor deals with these white folks to get into the industry. Now that the world sees you Now that the world sees us, they want to take that from us. Sit down, you bad word. Okay? So someone said, good thing, I am American Indian. So from the video also I saw so many, the indigenous people also saying that why are black people trying to say they are indigenous to the land? I mean, it's more like they are not okay with it, or it's like there has been a friction between the indigenous people, black indigenous people, and the other native indigenous people. I am sure you understand what I'm saying. I might not be too accurate, but I think I'm trying. Let me give it to myself. I am trying. Jokes. Yeah, so I have also seen some comments, not just prior to now. I read your comments. I read your comments most times. Most times I read your comments. Yeah, if I am not too busy, because when I say I am coming to the comment section to read, I am absolutely coming to the comment section to read, and I read and I learn. Right? I've been seeing comments before now, and I have also done so many videos where I also see black people saying that they are not African Americans. They tell me this in the comment section, and that they are indigenous to the land, that they were there before every other person. But sometimes, all this, let me also tell you this, with all these things going on, I sit down most time and I am like, you and I know that our life actually started in Africa, right? Yeah, literally almost everybody came from Africa before the race thing started. I mean, if you check, Africa is the motherland, right? So sometimes I think it's okay for me to get confused, but in the midst of the chaos and the confusion, you all will absolutely put me through, and I absolutely will be in the comment section reading all you have to tell me about it. Why do they call some people pretendians? And can you people let me know how they say that some people are already, like some black people are indigenous, right? And why are also the Native Americans saying that they are also indigenous? Because when it comes to being indigenous, there won't, I don't know if there will be two groups of people being indigenous. Maybe the other one, the brown people, and the other one, black people. I mean, all these things are possible, but yeah, I really do want to be educated here, and I will be reading your comments. I also have seen so many videos made by some African American content creators. A very big shout out to Afro Think Tan. I see him talking about some certain things when it comes to FBA and African Americans. And I want you to know that I am not trying to create a divide or anything, but it's just a curious African lady wanting to know some certain things. And I am very much open to learning. Thank you so much, and bye for now.